Kia ora guys, Mr. McKinley here. Today I'm just going to speak to you a little bit about alcohol, the effects it has on your body and the different decisions that you'll have to make surrounding alcohol as you become 18 years old or legal to buy or purchase alcohol. I'm going to look at the idea of, is it really that bad for you? Because some of us think that we can drink a lot and it doesn't have any long-term effects on our body. So some key facts before we start. An alcoholic drink or alcoholic beverage is a drink that contains a substantial amount of ethanol, and this is informally called alcohol. Okay, so that's where we get the alcoholic drink or beverage from. But in essence, you are just drinking ethanol. Okay, so there's ethanol within that drink, and that's what makes it alcoholic or informally alcoholic. The legal age to buy alcohol in New Zealand is 18 years old, so you must be 18 years old to purchase it. It is also 18 to get into any pubs around New Zealand and drink alcohol within that pub. And New Zealand has a very bad binge drinking culture, okay? And what I mean by binge drinking is we drink as much as we can, as fast as we can, with the idea of getting as drunk as we can, okay? So it's not a great idea to have. If we look at other cultures such as Germany, drinking is a very social thing, and they do it from a younger age because they don't drink as fast and they don't drink as much, okay? So that's the difference in those two cultures. Different types of alcohol, beers, wine, cider, probably more common, and ones that you'll see around. But then we get to the higher end of the alcoholic percentage scale, and we're looking at our spirits, so bourbon, rum, and vodka. Now, in New Zealand, we have this thing, it is a law that on every label for an alcoholic beverage, there must be a few things stated, okay? So if you just have a look at Kronenberg over here, they must state what percentage of that drink is alcoholic. They must also state how many standard drinks are in that bottle, okay? So as you can see here, Kronenberg, it is 5% alcohol, and it has 1.4 standard drinks in it. It also has this little picture over here that means do not drink while you're pregnant. If we look at some wine, again, you know, the whole bottle contains 7.4 standard drinks, which is a lot more than the beer, and the alcohol percentage is a lot higher. Okay, so in terms of volume, the wine bottle has a little bit more volume of liquid in there, but the alcoholic level is a lot higher, which means there's a lot more standard drinks. Okay, so that's what you really need to be aware of when you are drinking or making those decisions around drinks. In terms of what happens when we do become drunk or we do consume alcohol, okay, so an immediate sort of thing is we slur our speech, we get a little bit of confusion, maybe some memory problems, and our motor impairment goes, which means that we cannot function as we usually do, okay, so things like walking and coordination become a real problem. We can obviously lose our inhibitions to do things, we can have breathing problems and concentration problems, and then at the top end of the scale, you can actually go into a coma from drinking too much, or you could die, okay? So obviously we don't want these things to happen, so that's why we're informing you. If you drink alcohol over a long period of time, or the long-term effects, you can become dependent on alcohol, which means that you can't function properly without having a drink. You might see some health problems and some pretty bad health problems, and you can increase your risk of certain cancers, okay? So not too good, those things there. This is what we're really concerned with though, and this is what you need to understand, is that how many standard drinks are in that bottle or cask that you're drinking, okay? So one standard drink in New Zealand is worth 10 grams of alcohol, okay? So it doesn't matter how much volume is in that bottle, it depends how much alcohol is in that bottle or can, okay? So if we look at a 330 ml can of beer, 4% alcohol, that is one standard drink. Okay, 100 ml glass of wine, which is 12.5% alcohol, that is one standard drink. So as you can see over here, the 330 ml beer is a lot more in terms of volume than the wine, but that's because the alcohol percentage is a lot lower than the wine. Okay, then we move into our 330 ml bottle of RTD or ready to drink spirit, and that's a 6% alcohol, so that then contains 1.6 standard drinks. So as you can see, the theme here, their standard drinks are becoming higher. A standard bottle of wine at 13% of alcohol will get 7.7 standard drinks, and this is what we're talking about with our spirits, okay? So 100 ml bottle of spirits, 47% alcohol, and it is 37 standard drinks, okay? So that's quite a lot. 3-litre cask of wine at 12.5%, that is 30 standard drinks, okay? So within all of those, the volume that it contains within that container, that is the amount of standard drinks. You need to be very careful. The more standard drinks something contains, like spirits, the more dangerous it becomes if you drink too much. So how do we make sure we're safe when we are drinking? Here's a couple of tips here for you. So know your limit and plan ahead. Obviously, this is when you do become 18, you are able to drink. Eat food before and while you drink. Sip your drink slowly, slow down. Don't try to drink it as fast as you can. Skip a drink now and then substitute with a non-alcoholic drink. So a glass of water is a really good idea between drinks. Beware of unfamiliar drinks. So again, things like spirits with high percentage alcohol. Make sure that if you are drinking, you do have a designated driver. Do not drink and drive. That is a real problem in New Zealand. And respect the rights of individuals who do not wish to drink. So if your friends don't want to drink, don't force them into it. Keep track of how many drinks you are consuming. Make sure you space your drinks. So again, don't drink them as quickly as you can. And alcohol and sex do not mix. Okay, so drunken sex is not consensual sex. So there's a couple of tips to make sure you're safe when you do decide and you are of age to drink. Just a quick recap. As you get older, your alcohol will become more readily available and you'll be put in situations where you have access to it. Okay, so it's really important to know the effects on your own body, what happens if you drink too much, the different percentages of the alcohol in the drinks, and how to make sure we stay safe when drinking alcohol. Right, guys, thank you for listening. Hopefully you've picked up a little bit about alcohol and alcohol use, and when you do become of age, you can make informed decisions around those.